What is going on, WanderLuxe tribes? What is going on, Lux tribes? I'm back. This is your girl Onye. Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the top 5 travel mistakes to avoid. Top 5. There are more. There are a plethora of them, but I'm going to focus more on my top 5. The last one is the biggie. So stay tuned up until our number 5. So let's get to it. Number 1, planning last minute. You want to avoid planning last minute. Why? Well, you cannot expect to get the best prices or the best deals if you're planning last minute. Right? It's a difference from having a last minute trip that you have to go on that you didn't know until literally a month before, to and you want to go on a trip few months ahead of time, but then you choosing just not to look into it until the very last minute, right? That's what I'm talking about here. Your wallet is going to feel it a whole lot more, right? As you are trying to pay everything in one go. Like you have 1 month to pay for your hotel or Airbnb, your flights, the car service if you're gonna get car service or a cab, then you're spending money, so what you're gonna get for food and all of that. For 1 month it's too much, right? So you want to make sure that you are actually planning accordingly, and those accommodation and flights, you get taking care of them way ahead of time. So once the actual trip is coming to fruition, once that day is coming up, guess what? All the money you have on you at that point in time that you probably already assessed out is just going for miscellaneous stuff on the day of, like when you actually go on that trip. So again, first one to avoid, planning last minute. So number two, can you guess what number 2 is? Not researching what you're doing or where you're going. You need to know the location of where you're going to. And that may seem kind of crazy. You're like, girl, what are you talking about? Of course I know where I'm going. Yeah, but you know where you're going. Maybe you say, I want to go to Mexico, but you don't know exactly where. Right? You're not actually doing the actual research. Also, what time of the year are you actually going? Based on your destination, you should try and look at the best time of the year to go there. And does it actually make sense? Based on what you like to do when you travel. So are you a very touristy person? Do you like going there during peak season for that particular location? Peak season tends to have a higher price in hotels, in B&Bs, even in flights too. A lot of things gets inflated because they know it's going to be an influx of tourists. But you also get access to a lot more events that are happening because it's peak season. For example, going to the Hamptons. If you go to the Hamptons during the summertime, it's totally different, a totally different view, a totally different experience than going during the winter time, which is not peak season, right? And also, are you someone who doesn't want to go during peak season? You like when things are a bit more calmer. Which location should you go to, right? For instance, the Amalfi Coast. Some people don't want to go during March or April when it's not really their peak season. But there's also other kind of festivals that happens during that time that you don't really get to experience if you go during the summertime, right? How do I know that? I did my research. That's how I know that. So always make sure you are doing your research. Okay? Number 3, having a packed itinerary but not planning for rest. It is good to know exactly what you want to do, like researching your locations, researching things you want to do on that trip, right? Going to Viator, that's a really, really good medium to use to find excursions to go on. But your vacation, your trip, your holiday should not feel like work. You should not come back from your holiday feeling stressed that you need a vacation for your vacation, right? You should not come back feeling tired, feeling stressed. You should come back feeling refreshed. Meaning you need to include in your itinerary maybe a day of rest. What I like to advise people, only have 3 main excursions or 3 main things you want to do for that day. If you're having an actual excursion, maybe just 1 for that day. That way you have at least the mornings to just de-stress and just relax and not wake up too early and just sleep in. And then you have the evenings to yourself too, to de-stress and have a good time, so you're not stressed out. Okay, so guys, I know you got a lot of packed itineraries, but please include rest times in there, include rest days in there, depending on how long you're staying for. And I know for those people who are going on weekend trips, it's so tempting to want to pack everything in because we have FOMO. We have FOMO. It's a thing we do when we travel. But understand this, all you're doing is tiring yourself out. Okay? So, plan for rest. Plan for rest. Oh, losing my voice there because I had to speak in that one. But this next one honestly speaks to my soul because I just had a recent experience with this that taught me a lesson. So now it's on my top 5 of things to avoid, mistakes to avoid when planning and when traveling and planning as well. So number 4 is not vetting your travel partners. It's an ongoing thing here. I think there's some people who actually do this trend on TikTok and Instagram about types of people to avoid being travel partners with. It's a thing, and I want you guys to begin to understand that and plan accordingly. Right? First things first, before you plan a trip with someone, you need to vet them. Are their budgets the same as your budget? Right? Because that's going to go into more on the planning, meaning are you going to go use a hotel or Airbnb? You need to be on the same budget level, or at least have an understanding of what their budget is, their actual budget is, not what the idea of their budget will be, right? You need to also understand their character when it comes to you, because the last thing you want is for you to travel with someone and they ditch you because they found a guy or they found a girl. No. Safety is a thing, and your travel partners should not, what's the right word? They shouldn't put your safety at risk. Nor should you be their mother, nor should you mother them during the trip. Alright? You should travel with someone who's emotionally mature as you. So I say go out and grab something to eat and talk to them, almost like an interview in a way. But just because you guys are friends does not mean you guys are best travel partners, or doesn't mean that that particular trip that you're trying to plan fits them. They may be someone you can go on a shorter trip with as opposed to a longer trip with. These are things that you do need to take into consideration, because let me tell you, traveling will expose you to who your friends actually are and the true nature of your friend's personality and character, right? You can differ on whether you're an itinerary packed person or you are more of a laid back go with the flow. That's different. That's preferences. But when it comes down to actual like your character, your main personality and how you treat others, if you're someone who's actually welcome into a culture, that's very, very important. That is very, very important, and that can make or break your trip. So please, please, please vet your travel partners. Okay? Now, number 5. This is the biggie. This is, I kind of let it out a little. I let a little bit out a little bit earlier on, but this is my biggie. This is my biggie. But before I tell you this, please go ahead and hit a thumbs up onto our channel. Right? Subscribe to our channel, to this video. Subscribe to our channel. Go on YouTube, Instagram. Go to Instagram and TikTok and follow us. IG name is WanderLuxe _official on all platforms. Ready for number 5? Not having a budget. I kind of gave it away a little bit in our number 4, but number 5 is not having a budget. Guys, before you do anything, before you begin your planning, you need to have a budget. You need to have an idea of what you are willing to spend on that trip, because that'll determine whether you are planning a large trip or a small trip. And if you're planning a large trip, have an understanding on what that's going to look like. Like, there is literally a pre-planning before the actual planning starts. And that pre-planning is where you actually begin to look at different things and look, okay, what's my budget really looking like? right? What am I willing to pay into this trip? Because that'll determine the type of trip you have or you're looking for. Do you want a more luxurious type trip? Do you want a more of a backpacking type trip? Right? What exactly is it do you want? What kind of trip do you actually want? Really begins with your budget. Because money talks. And money determines what we're going to do or not. Right? So please, please, please begin to look into having a budget. You have to have a budget. So let's go back. 5 top travel planning mistakes not to do, to avoid. Planning last minute. Not doing your research. Having a packed itinerary but not planning for rest. Not vetting your travel partners. And top of the top, the creme de la creme, not having a budget. If you guys want more videos like this, please hit the thumbs up button, comment in this channel, and we will provide more of this type of contents for you. If you want how-to videos, how to plan, how to budget, how to vet those travel partners, let me know. I will do more of these types of videos to get you guys into a safer space for traveling and for planning. Okay, we do have a hidden gem series coming up where I take y'all into the nitty-gritty of little gems, locations, restaurants, little tickety-tacketies over there that most people don't really know about. Okay, so stay tuned on those. It's gonna be worldwide as well as nationwide. Okay, I love y'all, Luxe Tribe. I'll see y'all later.